All right, you guys, welcome to the show. This is We Got Problems. My name is Curtis G. Martin. I'm here with my co-host, Rhonda L. Brown,
Hey, everybody.
my other co-host, Caliph Johnson Sr.,
Peace, y'all. How y'all doing?
and we got a special guest, and we're going to be talking about nonprofits with Harold Pearson, I'm sorry.
It's all good. All good. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me here.
Hey, so Harold, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So originally born and raised from Sacramento, California. Kind of go into a little bit of what we're going to talk about, but wanted to had aspirations of playing a sport in college and when I was in high school. I was a 3-sport athlete: basketball, track, football, and didn't get recruited in high school.
Welcome to the We Got Problems podcast with co-hosts Curtis G. Martin, Rhonda L. Brown, and Caliph Johnson Sr., the one and only podcast where solutions get discussed to our community's everyday troubles. Each week, you will hear mind-blowing conversations and actionable tips and strategies that you can implement in your daily life to become more effective. We got problems and we got solutions.
But I also wanted to go to college, but I never know who my counselor was. So, I ended up, going to community college and English as a second language class and wrong classes, all remedial classes. So I had to find a new counselor and found a brother who, gave me the right courses. Ended up at UC Berkeley, where I got a chance to go to school, get a degree in business communications, and play some football while I was at it. So it was really great experience. Kind of took me along the way to where I am now, which is a CEO of a nonprofit organization called SPAAT, Student Program for Academic and Athletic Transitioning. Also a co-owner in the best barbecue sauce you probably never tasted. It's called Pearson's Premium Gourmet Barbecue Sauce. And I'm a serial entrepreneur, man. And, I love business. I just love just making stuff happen, just coming up with things, building. And I'm also a dad. And so I got 2 beautiful daughters, Alexis and Johanna. So, I'm a son too, and an uncle. So, I'm trying to do a little bit of everything, man.
No, that's good. Hey, so you talked about the nonprofit, and you said, I think I want to make sure I get it right. You said for athletes that's transitioning. Why did you choose that name, and why did you choose that niche?
Sure. So, what I saw when I got to Cal was, a lot of friends and family that could have been in the same position that I was in, in college, playing a sport. They could have been either or, right? And so, there was a gap there. And so, students having the right information, the right mentor in their back pocket, or someone just to push them a little bit further than they had been pushed. And so, the transition part was important because that's where, our young folks need support. We all need support when we're transitioning into a new business, a new relationship, a new life, right? So, the transition part was important. But how the name came up was, a conversation with, I got when we had the idea to support athletes, because me and my friends, we were all athletes. It was 2 of us. We started this program together. And, we were just having a conversation, like, talking about colors, what our colors would be like. We got problems is, black and white and with a little red. And, then somebody brought up a SPAAT, a SPAAT, like, I don't know if anybody know what a SPAAT is?
No.
So in football, if you guys see, in the games this weekend, playoff games, or whenever you see in Super Bowl, you'll see on everyone's shoe there's a white, not everyone's shoe, but a lot of athletes' shoes. There's a white tape. There's a white covering. It covers their ankle and it covers their covers their shoe. It's called a SPAAT.
Okay.
So
I know
SPAAT
exactly what it is.
is to help you prevent you from injury, help you run faster, help you prevent your ankles from turning, and then it also looks good. So like Dion says, look good, play good. So when my man said SPAAT, we were talking about colors. I was like, man, that's it. That's what we're gonna call it. And then we had to come up with the name and the words and what does SPAAT mean later. So that's how it came up.
And what does it mean?
It's SPAAT, Student Program for Academic and Athletic Transitioning. So
Okay, cool.
Students that were transitioning academically or students that were transitioning athletically, but to make sure they have the support around that to make a successful transition into college careers and life beyond sports.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what are some of the things that you, when you went into it, that you plan to accomplish with your the nonprofit that you do? What were some of the things that you were looking to get into, and what you want to, some of the things you want to fix in your community with it?
I mean, I wanted to make sure, young folks that look like me had an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Just an opportunity. So, and had the information and the right requirements, had the resume to take advantage of the opportunity. So many times in our community, our folks have, talent in a multitude of different areas, but they don't have the X's and O's behind it, to take advantage of the opportunity. So that was, our goal was just like, we were all volunteers at the time. We were just like, man, let's go out and help. So, we just grabbed kids and started working with them, started giving them some game, teaching them about the things that we knew. So there was no real, I don't know if we had a vision for what we are today, somewhat of a vision where we are today, but I think for the most part, we just wanted to help. That's all. We just want to get down and make sure folks didn't fall through the cracks like some of us did.
How many years have you been doing this, and how many students or kids do you think you've helped?
That's a great question, Rhonda. You would ask that question, but no. So, we started the program in 2003 with two students. One, Johnny Terrell, was in high school. He's a junior in high school. He went to school with Marshawn Lynch. I met Marshawn when he was a 10th grader. And at that time, I met him on the field. He had a V-neck sweater on with glasses and a flat top. Real clean cut, brother. And then we had a community college student named Sean Tilley. So that was in 2003. So we're going on a dub, next year. So
wow, that's good.
It's been a minute. We've been working at this. How many students, man? It's been a lot. It's been, well over, a couple hundred students that have fully, been through the program. Today we started with, two students. Like I said, today we support around 600 students in Oakland public schools, both middle and high school students. So we started in the 6th grade, working all the way up to senior year in high school.
So what kind of program? What's inside the program? Is it like a curriculum, and do you help students only in your city or throughout the United States?
Currently, we're only in Oakland, right? We do have a number of programs where we support the student athletes. So we have study labs that are, at each site for our students, and we have an academic coach that is kind of the glue on that site. So whether the students need support academically, just on their homework, or with some skill building, some tutoring, we have a college advisor that works with primarily student athletes. And so, there's a number of different resources that we provide for students. Application support, when they're filling out their application support. A lot of students miss out on just having a college list, like a solid college list that's not, University of Oregon, USC, and Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of our students, they want to play at the next level, but they set their sights on, playing at the top universities in the country, which is, it's not going to happen for everybody. So make sure they're having a balanced list, a balanced set of opportunities where, you can go ahead and reach for the clouds, but we want to, set something that's right where you can, right when you can hit the mark, and then set a couple places where, we know you're going to hit that. You know what I mean? So.
Hey, so you just gave me another element to that question, right? Like, so the big thing now is HBCUs, right? So I think Dion got one of the highest recruits for next year. What are your goals for transitioning them into possibly going to HBCUs? What's your thoughts on that?
So, my thoughts are number one, have the best opportunity where the student can take advantage of. However, I support our communities. I always have been, a supporter of things of us doing things for ourselves. And so I think it is important for student athletes to look at the HBCUs, take serious looks, and not just because Dion is there, but us channeling our talent through the HBCU is a big is going to make a big impact. In 5 years, college sports is going to look a little bit different because of Dion. So you got Hugh Jackson at what is that, Grambling. You got Eddie George at I think Tennessee State. So you got Duke Staley is and there's a number of other NFL alumni poking around with HBCUs. I just heard the other day Jerry Rice is interested in head coaching them. So had to take a pioneer to jump out there and do it. So I always encourage our students to look at the HBCU, see if there's a fit for them.
Okay, what are some of the avenues that you're like? NFL ain't for everybody, and a lot of the young men come in there, and that's primarily where their goals are set for. So, what are some of the other avenues that you like? You're like you said, you're a serial entrepreneur. What are some of the avenues that you try and get your young men to go down?
Yeah, so what we do is have them look. What are you good at? What are your talents like? What are you passionate about? And then try to make your college experience kind of fit up with that. Or if you're not going to go to college, because college isn't for everyone, everybody shouldn't even go to college. Especially with the way college is kind of set up. Corona situation has put the educational system on blast. That they need to update their systems. They need to make sure our educational the curriculum that they're providing really hits home and really provides that opportunity that it used to back in the day. Like in the 90s, in the 80s, 90s, having a college degree was big. Like you that was inroads to, good job, pensions, and all that kind of stuff. Things are different. So, we try to funnel our students into, opportunities, both, a CTE, finding a skill, a trade, where we're transitioning now, technology, NFTs, crypto, the metaverse, where we're going to be in that conversation. So making sure we're setting up right now is, what's going to be the groundwork to where we get our students really some skills in the technological space, around this new what is they calling it, the Web 3.0 that's upon us. You know what I mean?
It is upon us, that augmented reality.
Yeah, facts.
So you've been doing this since 2003. Have you had any students that you've worked with or helped come back and volunteer or start working for the nonprofit?
Actually, yeah, we got a number of students come back and volunteer, work, as tutors. Our college advisor right now his name is Denzel Johnson. He was a great young man as a high school student and a student athlete. Played football at McClymonds High School in West Oakland and graduated from Cal Berkeley. He had a full ride academic scholarship. And now he's back, as our college advisor. So it's really cool because he's learned a lot along the way, but he can speak from experience. So not only to being at a high level, one of the top universities in the country, in the world, but he can also speak to the challenges that you have as a high school student, and in the neighborhood, just different issues that come up for us. So it's a really great thing to see him come back and want to support. Yep.
So what's the vision you see for your nonprofit on what's the next level to level up to make it bigger and better?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So back when Nipsey Hussle, passed, I didn't really know who Nip was. I started watching some videos and seeing some things, and he was actually speaking to some college students, and he was talking about the enterprise, and he was talking about Disney, and how Disney started which was with One Piece, which was Mickey Mouse, the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And now today, Disney has toys, TV shows, cartoons, Disneyland, Disney World. So there's all these pieces that work around that one piece, initial piece, which was, Mickey Mouse. So where I see SPAAT is, SPAAT is the middle ground, and then there's a number of different, opportunities that are within arm's length that we've already been using. It's already been implemented. So we have a college playbook for our student athletes, for our students and athletes, and that is, it's a college guide, so it has, different activities in there to get a student on his way, his or her way to the next level. We also have, a number of different other opportunities that will all feed off of SPAAT being in the middle, but work into, making sure we're sustainable and making sure we can reach a bigger audience than we're currently servicing. I get hits all the time. Hey man, can you help me here? Can you help me here? Can you help me here? So now we're setting up some systems to be able to support folks at a grander scale.
And a two-part to that. How about are you looking at trying to maybe have like chapters in other cities or other states?
So yeah, that's part of it. So we looked at, we've looked at dropping on the ground and having, different different what do we call it, a staff at each site, whether it's, in Los Angeles or, Chicago. However, what we're going towards is the trainer model. So we're going to train people how to do what we've done here. So we're going to train people how to have the success, people that are really interested, passionate about, helping young people, putting young people on a path to success. We're going to be training them and showing them, everything that we've done, our playbook on how to really maximize the opportunity, whether it comes to, curriculum, supporting students, whether it comes to fundraising, how to get the resources, how to create a sustainable organization. So we're going to be coaching folks on a lot of these different things that, and some of the things that aren't talked about in nonprofit management that I've learned across the way that are really going to be beneficial for those.
All right, good stuff.
Okay. So like, I have a daughter, you know what I mean? I have a son, he's more athletic, but I have a daughter that's really she's more artsy. She loves the creative side. Do you guys have space for young ladies to kind of build on our young queens, or is it predominantly looking to build our young kings?
No, it's actually probably about 60-40. 60-40 as far as, male, female. And that's just because the football team is a big, it's a big roster, it's 80 kids on the football team. But we have a lot of programs for the young women. We have a sister to sister program that we started actually during the pandemic. And it's a space where the ladies can come together, talk about, the different issues that they're dealing with as young adolescent women. And get some game from some I ain't gonna say OGs, from some aunties, what to do, when to do it, you know what I mean? So the first one we did, we had it was a women in sports panel. So we had the general counsel for the 49ers, director of community relations for the Oakland A's, director of social impact for the Golden State Warriors. So it was a really good group to talk about, college and just navigating, life as a young woman and how they navigate that later in life, especially in a male-dominated, industry such as sports.
Okay. I had a question and I just went blank.
Oh, good. You got problems, I got answers.
Oh, okay. So what was one of the biggest hurdles when you started your nonprofit?
One of the biggest hurdle, or one of the biggest, there's many hurdles, but really figuring out how far I wanted to go and how much I wanted to invest. So like I said, when we started this off, we were all volunteers, and life changes. People go through different things. I'm sitting there holding the bag. I got the whole organization in my hands, but I'm working full time. I'm in working in San Francisco in the private industry, and I went to a self-development course one day. It was like on a weekend course, and I came out on a Monday. Came to work on Monday. It was like, hey man, y'all got 30 days. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go be executive director of SPAAT, and this was in 2008. And so I had no idea what an executive director did at that time. But I knew that was like the person that was in charge. So I was like, let's go ahead and do this thing. This is what I'm supposed to do. And so, that was a challenge. I don't recommend folks do that. Sometimes you gotta jump out there in order, put all your cards on the table in order to reach that success that you want. I recommend people put a plan together before they do that. Don't do it like I did. But I burned through a lot of savings. We had like $6,000 in the bank, so we didn't have any money to do anything. So I worked for free for a couple of years. Most folks didn't know that, thought I was getting a bag, but I was damn near living out of a bag. You know what I'm saying? So that was a challenging point, but with consistency, we just kept chopping wood, kept talking to more folks, kept supporting students, and things started to really grow. And so I'm proud of where we've been today, and I'm excited about where we're going. Sure.
So tell me this, do you do what types of fundraisers you do to get help from the community to support the organization?
Right. Yeah. So most of our funding comes from, so we have a mix of both government and private foundation funding. We get a little bit of funding from private donors. So we're actually working on, increasing. We got a lot of meat on the bone as far as our individual donors. But yeah, majority of our funds come from, government grants. So to be maybe city, maybe state, some federal opportunities, and then there's private foundations. Most of them are local to San Francisco Bay Area, Oakland, and some in the state, that support different programs, youth development programs, education programs, programs that support girls, programs that support, Black boys, African American males. And so we fit in a lot of different lanes, as an organization. So it's mainly about getting the word out, about what we're doing, the success we've had. And that's how we were able to, and then networking, just telling everybody, what we're doing and how we're doing it, and what we plan for the future. And that leads to, all those different avenues.
How did two-part to that? How did you figure out that you can, even though you had a one niche, that it can fit into all those different lanes? Like you figured, like this is what my organization about, but yeah, we can help girls in this way. We can help boys. How did you come across that, or how did you figure that out, or was that part of the plan?
That was definitely not part of the plan, but that was trial and error. I started off, like I said, in the private sector, so we were selling document management databases to law firms, and I was like, man, if I can sell, products to law firms, to attorneys, I know I can sell, helping kids to, the community. Been a little bit harder to do that, at times, but it comes through trial and error. So the more you talk to people about what you're doing, the more the light goes off for them on how they can support you, or different opportunities that come up. So that's where I kind of learn, take a little bit from here, take a little bit from there, having conversations with folks around what we're doing, where we're going. and then they would give me a different advice. We did, when we first had this idea, the best thing that we did, and I would advise anybody to do something like this, is we went to a workshop on how to start a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
So at first we wanted to start a for-profit, but we were like, the students we want to support, they might not have the funding for it. So we got to do this nonprofit thing. And so we went to a workshop. The brother was teaching the workshop. We was taking notes, in the back. And when he was done, we went up and cornered him and like, hey, here's what we want to do. We got this idea. We were young, 20, I don't know, maybe 23 at the time. I don't know how well it was, but we had some fire, in our veins. So he jumped aboard. He was actually our Aliyah Rashid. He was our first board member, and he supported us and kind of helped us along the way. Like, okay, you need to do this. You need to get your paperwork right. The first thing we started with was our paperwork. You know what I mean? Like, so mission, vision, IRS documentation, the 1023, the get on the way to getting that 501c3. So that we, I've taken that approach, making sure our documentation is tight and making sure we're taking care of the X's and O's that are really the business part of the organization. And so, that's how we've been able to grow is, reaching out to folks, making asks, like people that know more than us. Hey man, how we do that? Who can I talk to? Where's this? Where's these resources? Where are these resources? And then, that's where those conversations come up. And then, a couple years later, you like, man, I kind of know a little bit of the game, But
so that power of networking.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I got a question, bro. Like, I really want to know this. You've been doing this for 2 decades now. You've been at this for 2 decades.
Well, you make it sound like a lot. Like he only
that's a lot of time
for a while now.
That's a lot of time to be dedicating yourself to the community. You know what I mean? You have a lot of experience with dedicating yourself to your community. What are some of your highlights? What are some of the moments is like, yeah, this is why I do it? What were some of your highlights, some of the fun part of it to you? So we always get into the work part. Let's talk about some of the parts that you really get some enjoyment from.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, people ask that question. But recently we got invited to we have a partnership with the 49ers. They won a playoff game today. And I would like to take a little bit of credit for that, because they are a partner with us. So, we have
That's the family.
Playoffs.
That's the family.
You know what I'm saying? We got playoffs, it's just in our thing. So I got a chance to our first student, his name was Johnny Terrell, graduated out of Humboldt State, Oakland Tech. Came to the game, and then Ahmed Muhammad, who was a graduate of 2020, and actually 2020, and he was actually the first African American male valedictorian at that school out of its like 102-year history. And so they were both at the game. So, we got a chance to talk, and they got a chance to talk to each other, and we got a chance to network and, just connect. And, it was a great experience just, from a long time ago. Johnny's an adult. He has kids. I'm a godfather of one of his daughters. I mean, and Ahmed is at Stanford, in his freshman year, navigating, life. And so, it was a dope experience just, being in that space with them, man. Young people you've been able to help, along the way, man, it was just it was a surreal moment for me.
That's dope, man.
So those are the moments that help me. They be like, man, this is why I do the work. When it gets hard, this is why we do this. You know what I'm saying? When kids really, have that kind of success, and they don't always say thank you, but you're doing the right thing. I help. I helped get you there. You don't always throw it in their face, but you had a part of that success. So that's the part that keeps you going, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Has it been difficult to run the nonprofit during the pandemic, or has there been more help?
Nah, man. I would say it's always difficult. It's always challenging to run a nonprofit. As with any business, you know what I mean. But COVID has, it's definitely brought some, more. COVID keeps you on your toes, So even right now, we just announced organization last week. We're going virtual for the next 2 weeks because of Amarion, and so how
Only our people call it on Marion because don't nobody else even
y'all
know
know
who
exactly what I'm talking
Marion
about. So you know, you just got to be able to move, shake and move, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be flexible, but you got to be persistent. And so, yeah, definitely, things have gotten more complex, as we're juggling health issues now. We've always juggled health issues to some degree, but, with this, we got to be looking out for, our staff health. Everything was focused on the students, but now, we got to look at what we doing for the staff. How are they keeping safe? How are we keeping them safe? How are we building systems to make sure, everybody's taken care of along the way. So definitely has brought some challenges to the forefront.
So has there been more grants that gotten because of the pandemic, or no?
I mean, I think some people are, I think it started kind of when when the pandemic, the George Floyd situation happened. So, a lot of folks wanted to, support, have social justice movements. So that has led to, some additional partnerships, some excuse me, some additional grants at the table. So that has been a byproduct of this. But if you're not hustling in this space, it don't matter what's going on. It don't matter because when the money comes or it becomes available, if you're not in the right position, it's going to somebody else. So you always have to be. It doesn't matter if nothing's happening or everything's happening like today. People get busy. People doing other things. Some people not even worried about giving away money right now. They cut back because they're losing money. Certain there's a lot of tax revenue not coming down the pipe. People are off work, people chilling at home. So there was a lot of money that wasn't circulating. So a number of different organizations were like, "Hey, we're gonna sit back here, or we're not gonna give out. We're gonna take a break." So gotta always have your ear to the ground. That networking is important, and then always pushing the message out to the broader audience about what you're doing.
So how do you keep a influx of students coming into the program, and how do you market it to let people know about the organization?
We hammer them with information and love.
Oh yeah, you from that town, huh? You can't touch this. We hammer them.
Yeah. Actually, I just had a picture of him. I just met MC Hammer the other day.
That's dope.
Man, got a chance to take a picture with him and his crew. My daughters actually, but MC Hammer actually went to McClymonds High School, along with Bill Russell, a number of different folks. Jim Hines broke the first person to break the under 10 in the 100 meters track. You can appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm just talking. I forget what was the question.
how do you keep those students coming in?
Oh, back to
you said y'all hammer them. My bad. I took you there with that. Can't touch this. Then we got on the hammer.
Yeah, that's right. Where we work it out is with the administration and supporting the coaches. So a lot of coaches, they have, aspirations for their students to be successful, but they might not have the capacity to support them in this way, right? So they might not, have the information on college and careers. They might not have the time. A lot of our coaches are volunteers. They got a job. They got kids. They got family life. So may not have the capacity to do that. So our goal was to, create an organized support system to make sure none of our students fall through the cracks. And so really creating a partnership with the coach, creating a partnership with the school, whether it's a middle school, high school, and the school district is important. And that's how we get to the students and get to working with the students is going to the site where we know the student is and making sure we're accessible to them. They're accessible to us for different information. And then that's how we've been able to make sure we keep ties in the community.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay, so we like you said, you're a serial entrepreneur. You got your hands in the SPAAT. You also got that good old barbecue sauce over there. Let's talk a little bit about the barbecue sauce and how did you come about with that? How did that nice picture on your wall looking all delicious on the wall, that gourmet sauce over there? Just talk about a little bit about that. How did we come about with that?
The sauce for all seasons. So in high school, my father's from the Midwest, so he's from St. Louis, Missouri. Mm-hmm. So he's military, was in the military for a number of years in the Air Force. So that's how he got out here to California. And when he got here, he was like, St. Louis is right next to Kansas City. Kansas City is the barbecue capital, really, of the world. So when he came out here, there was no flavor, there was no barbecue sauce, really barbecue or sauce that really could match up to what he had growing up. So he just started creating, his own thing. My dad is barbecue sauce. He a barbecue king. I mean, he a real pit master. Like, wake up at 5 in the morning, get it going. By 8, 9, 10 o'clock, it's done. And so just growing up, we always had that barbecue sauce. We never had KC Masterpiece and all that kind of stuff.
That's trash.
So, right.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
No pun intended. Right. So, people started reaching out to him, when they taste it, when they come over for barbecues, or he would bring some and they like, man, this is good. You should put it in a bottle. And so one day he did. And so when I was in high school, he got the barbecue sauce was rolling. So, we used to, on Saturdays where, people had Pop Warner games or, they had hoop tournaments or just outside playing, we had Costco, doing the tasting, delivering boxes, and so, we got a taste for it then. So Pops was in about 30 stores in Northern California area, Sacramento region. And so it was very successful. And he was doing it by himself. My dad is also a full-time investment broker. So it was a lot to handle at once. So he let it stay dormant right after I kind of finished up with college. And, my sister called us probably right in the middle of the pandemic. So March, April, May. Mm-hmm. It was like, yo, it's time. So, we always had it in the back of our heads, like, we're going to take this, we're going to take this over one day and get it going. So, we did a pop-up shop, just made it in the kitchen just to test it out, see if it was still good, people still love it. It still had a flavor. And so we did, and it was dope. We sold out in like 3 days. And then, so it was like, okay, now we got to put the grind to this, because this can be really successful. We saw, we started doing some market research. Sweet Baby Ray's sold back in 2005 for $30 million. Stubbs barbecue sauce. I don't know if you heard of Stubbs barbecue sauce, but they
cowboy
sold.
Hat.
What'd you say?
The cowboy hat.
Yeah, the cowboy hat. Yep. So Stubbs sold for 2015 for $100 million. So, that kind of set the bar, like, okay, here's where we know we could be, legitly, we've had some successful times in grocery stores. We have some experience there. We know what it looks like. We know what it needs to taste like. So me, my brother, and my sister have taken this bull by the horns. It's in the middle of, it's on the last leg of getting manufactured, co-packer. What a co-packer is, anybody that bottles, product. So they take a recipe and whatever you have, it could be lotion, it could be food product, and they'll manufacture it for you and then package it up. So it could be a candy bar, anything. So we have a sauce co-packer there working with us right now, making sure the flavor is really right, really tight. It's a sweet, smoky flavor with a little bit of kick at the end. So it has layers to it, and I have never tasted a barbecue sauce that stands up to it. So, we're 100% with chefs. So, I'm excited about getting it back to the market, and it's taking some work with the the business aspects of it. But my dad is still an advisor to us. He's the official taste tester and and an advisor. So, we're looking forward to the future with that.
Honor his legacy. That's dope.
How
man.
nervous were you for him to taste your first batch?
Well, the good thing, the good and bad thing is I'm not the cook of the family. So that's why my brother got the barbecue gene. I didn't get the barbecue gene. I got the business gene. So all the pressure was on, my brother David. So he the one that had to sweat. I just had to sit back and watch. Like, man, I hope you did it right.
I did my part. Get yours.
You passed this test right now. So but Pop's been supportive, man, and the whole time. So definitely, we got big shoes to fill. So that's always in the back of our head is, making sure we are, representing the legacy and for Pearson's Premium and keeping it rocking.
How do you manage that, bro? Because that's some huge shoes to fill. Managing legacy, not just the legacy of your ancestors that came before you, but your seeds as well. How do you manage that, bro?
It's hard at times to manage it. But setting up structures to make sure you're able to manage everything and that needs to get done. So we meet weekly. We have a Pearson's Premium call where we meet. My mom's helping us out as well. So all hands on deck. You know what I'm saying? So when I fall, my brother picks me up, mom's there, sister's there. So, Pops is in the back like, hey man, what y'all doing? So there's a number of different accountability partners in this. And we have, my daughters are 5 and 8. So, creating something for them, that they can start from, they don't have to start from the back of the line. They can start from the front of the line. So, that part is, inspiring, and that helps you wake up. That helps you, make another phone call when you don't feel like it. That helps you, stay on track and, take the notes and, do the things that you need to do.
I'm gonna definitely have to try the sauce. Maybe I'll put it on some cauliflower tacos or something. Have me some barbecue cauliflower tacos. But my question is, are you guys planning on having any spin-off products, like some honey mustard or anything like that? Have that been in the works or in the talks?
It's a number of different things in the works, man. It's a number of different lanes. I don't know if I should leak this or not.
No, don't leak it.
Don't do it. If it ain't done yet,
I'll be okay. I'm gonna wait to that one. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, no, don't leak it. We don't want you to leak it, because see, that's how some of our companies lose out, right? We leak stuff a little too early, so I'm good with you holding it.
Well, let me just say this. There are a number of products that we buy every single day from folks that don't look like us or not from our communities. And so we know for a fact that there's a lane for us in just, meeting the regular needs of, of the public, at the broader public, let alone just our people, right? So there are some low hanging fruit opportunities for us to, be in a space where a lot of other folks are. But we just carving out our little piece, man. And so things that aren't once again, kind of the Nipsey model where, what's in arm's length, you don't have to throw a, Hail Mary pass, but, it's right in front of you. You just got to do a little bit of work to set up the system. So there are some of those opportunities that we're looking at. And then there are some long bombs too. We're looking at going deep on a couple things, but there's some right in front of us, some opportunities that we're going to leverage for sure.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
That's real good stuff.
So are you already getting your daughters into the business?
Yeah, they in the business. Yep, they're in the business. And what folks don't understand is, and we understood this. We understand this now, but we didn't understand this growing up. Like, you always watching your parents, you know what I'm saying? You watching whatever they doing, you know what I'm saying? So when they're having conversations, it's one ear and out the other, but you remember, the process. And so the reason we were able to, do that first run and the second run of sauce, and then when people got it, they're like, man, this is like a real barbecue sauce, dude. Like this. Like, yeah, man, we know how to do this, and so kids are always kids always learn. They're always understanding things. They're always, they just nosy as hell. So they finna figure it out. They know what's going on. So, I got a chance to see my father. I got a chance to see my mother. They were always active in the community. They was always active in business. And so we just kind of, it's just, by nature of, proximity, you're gonna soak up that game. And so they're in the business on the way of proximity, but they have been involved in some inventory for sure. So we haven't carved out position for them yet, but they know they're gonna be working.
No, that's good, because I heard a saying that says that, like, somebody out of our community that don't talk business with their family, they can go on to get all these accolades and graduate with doctorate degrees, right? And then they work a 9 to 5 for their whole life. Another guy can be from a family that was wealthy, well off, and had ideas, and that's all they talked about. He could be a bum most of his life, and then once he's ready, he takes those ideas and run with it, right? Like,
Right.
So we definitely got to teach our kids. So I like that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I get that a little bit from I've seen the brother Derek Grace be intentional about that, and so I've picked up some of those habits of really being intentional about, like, hey, learn about this, watch us do this, so they're involved in some of the processes. But I think it is just a matter of being intentional about what you want, what lessons we want them to pick up, what ideas do we want them to pick up, so they can take them and run with them.
Okay. Look, now I know you do a lot out there in the community. I know you do a lot with the business. Like, what are some of the things you do for fun right nowadays? Like, what do you do to relax? Because you're always on the grind. You always got something to do. What do you do when it's on your relaxed time, when you get your you time, man? Where do you find your pleasure at?
I like to work out. I like to learn, man. I mean, I enjoy, like, I enjoy learning new stuff, new businesses. Like, it's a gift and a curse, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm always ready to do something different, but I gotta stay focused. But I enjoy talking to folks. I get energy from talking to people. Corona was great, because I can't sit down. I know how to sit down before, and just do nothing and relax. But I like to network. I like to talk to people. I like to interact with folks. I picked up a recent hobby. I like to just go for a drive. Like, I got a decent stereo system. I got an amp in there, and I just crank that thing up and ride. I saw the verses with who's that, Bone Thugs versus 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah.
And man, that had me. I was on the road for about 2 hours, locally. So that's something I recently picked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody in the car. I'll be back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can get your thoughts together that way too. I love it.
Sure, for sure.
I found out how much I miss driving once I got Corona. When I got Corona, like, when that Rona hit me, bro, it sat me down. Like,
Right.
it wasn't that I took it bad. I got a headache. That was my worst symptom. You know what I mean? I got a headache. But man, I had to sit down. It was no go outside, food delivered to the doorstep. It was like, yo, you don't realize how much. And out here in LA, I'm driving all the time. I got practice to go to. I got to get the kids to school. You know, you got to grab kids, pick them up, take them back to practice. You got to go to A. You got to go to B. This needs to be done. You just got to do so much stuff. You find yourself in the car all the time out here because ain't nothing like right there. You got to go to LA. 20, 30 minutes away. You got to go to Long Beach, it's 20, 30 minutes away. Everything is kind of like at a distance. So you find yourself in the car more often than not. And you don't realize how much you miss driving until you got to sit down for a while. I'm like, dang, I miss my car. Like, damn. So yeah, I definitely can feel you on that. Actually just sitting back and enjoying a ride around the city a bit.
Right. Ain't nothing worse than getting put on punishment.
Man.
Hey, so Harold, tell us how could we find the barbecue sauce?
So yeah, you can find us on Instagram at Pearson's Premium BBQ, Pearson's Premium BBQ, and then our website www.pearsonspremium.com. So you can find us there. We are sold out at this point, but if you you sign up to get on our mailing list and to sign up to get into the Pearson's Premium family. And you'll get the first, you know, when we drop the sauce, actually you'll know before everybody else, before the broader public. So we are going to drop a sale in this year 2022, and so you'll get first dibs on that first bottle.
And how could they find the organization and support the organization?
Sure, send all cash, checks, coins, dollars, NFTs. Crypto,
Bitcoin.
To get rid of is send it to SPAAT SPAAT.org. That's a website www.spaat.org. That's 2 A's and 1 T. And then we're on Instagram at SPAATup. Actually just SPAATup. SPAATUP.
All right, cool, good stuff. Trash Vegan. You have any closing words for the people?
Man, I just want to thank you, King. The knowledge that you have, the knowledge that you give so freely, bro. I really want to thank you for being 20 years, 2 decades involved in your community, building your community, and being so forthcoming with the information. Not everybody sacrifices themselves like you do for your community, and people don't think of it like that. You're like, I'm just doing what I love to do, but there's so many of them out there that don't do that. And don't reach back to the young kings and build young men. I thank you, bro, for what you do for your community and our community, because if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to build some solid kings under you. And the more solid kings and queens that you build under you, the better our city and our world be. So I thank you, bro, for your contributions and what you do. And keep that business going. Keep that business mind going. Loving to learn is the best thing you can do. And having a family business, having a business called teaching your kids how to be on the phone with your siblings, your grandparents, just teaching them how to be a family, bro. We need more models like you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I just want you to keep on doing what you're doing, bro.
I appreciate it, Trash.
I appreciate that. It's our I had folks pouring to me, along the way. I had folks, tell me, give me some game about this, that, and the third along the way. So it's just really my duty to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Say each one, teach one. So it's my job to give back. And, I feel like that's a part of the difference between, our generation is the, our parents and generation before them. They didn't do things because it was passion, for them. They did it because it was their duty. You know what I'm saying? To build that legacy and keep it rolling. So that's what we got to do. That's why, support platforms like this where, that's what you guys are doing. So I appreciate you, having me on the platform. You guys are all dope individuals with dope businesses and, knocking it down. So it's an honor just to be here.
And before I go, hold on. Keep on being a dad, bro. You a father, bro, and you love your babies and you represent them to the fullest. You a king that represents young queens, bro. Keep being a father. I don't ever want to let that go without being said. Keep being that amazing father and keep fighting the good fight, bro.
I appreciate that. I'm definitely on that.
Rhonda, you have any closing remarks or closing words for the people?
Yeah, I want to thank Harold too for coming. But I also want to encourage people to go out in their communities and find a nonprofit to volunteer at. Like, even if you can't give money, just go volunteer.
That's good. Hey, so and all the people in
Can I say
Oakland.
one thing? Can I
Yes,
say
sir.
one thing?
Yes, sir.
Also, I gotta put a quick plug in. Excuse me. I gotta put a quick plug in. So, it's all about the village, and so I was able to, I am a great dad. I am a great dad. However, Rhonda helped me create this for my daughter, man. I'm so excited. I'm probably more excited about this than everything else I'm doing. I can't wait.
What's that? Hold on. What's that, bro? You just tell the people about it.
This is my 8-year-old daughter's book. This is called Math Making Alexis, and it's a math book that it's a story about her trials and tribulations with math as a second grader, and you can't see that here, but it's got a great story in here. But Rhonda gave me some game on how to get this, working through Amazon. Just some of the tricks and tips that I would have never figured this out on my own. So I got to give it up to the queen. If you guys need some support with your writing your book, all aspects of that, man, she got it. It's a done deal.
Yes,
There we
sir.
go. Hey, both of you guys are truly Black masterminds that build legacies and activate collective knowledge. So we appreciate you both. Hey, you guys, I would say get out, people, especially the people of Oakland, go support the brother, support his organization, volunteer, like Rhonda said, to his organization, because we all we got, we all we need. And this is We Got Problems, where we discuss solutions, and we out.
From the team at CRC Empire, we want to thank you for listening. To stay connected with us, like, share, and subscribe to the We Got Problems podcast. You can find us on social media platforms at Curtis Martin 247, at Rhonda Wrights Official, and at the_trash_vegan_.